I really just want you to just go straight and give your reaction to this.
So, the political firmament in Nigeria today is one that you can liken to be that of a nudist camp. It has become so lugubrious that the stench and the shame that come out of it is one that is so nauseous, especially to those who are morally upright. But let's ask the question again. How many Nigerians, especially those in the political space, active players, are morally upright? How many Nigerians, whether in the legislative institution, the judicial institution, and the other ministry departments and agencies that we have, how many of them indeed are morally upright? For the first time in a long time, I was watching, even when I watch horror films, I don't cry. You know, I'm not that emotional to cry even when I'm seeing horror films. For the first time, I was seeing a judgment and tears were rolling down my eyes. They were rolling down not necessarily because of the fact that I thought something evil had happened to me or was going to happen to me. No. They were rolling down because I began to imagine the conspiracy of evil against good. How a people will exalt evil to such altars that evil becomes the new norm that is called righteousness. It is indeed what, for me, as I was watching yesterday, I was unable to totally grasp. I began to see a Nigeria where wrong would become the new right. I began to see a Nigeria where might will become the new right. I began to see a Nigeria where who you know will determine what you become. I began to see a Nigeria where everything that we were taught about morality would be sunk in the rivers of evil. And that was why I was crying, or that was why I cried. Nigeria, as we have today, has been taken over by a cabal who cannot distinguish between what is morally expedient and what is politically necessary.
Okay, you know, a big point from me personally, from that listening to the Supreme Court justices read out that judgment yesterday, yes. Like I said earlier, they may be right. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't read the Obi or Atiku's case files.
Absolutely.
They may be right that, though there are people are contesting that, which we're going into right now, they may be right when they say that, oh, they did not do ABC, they did not add this, they did not prove it beyond reasonable doubt and all of that. Previously, before the day of the announcement of the judgment, we had Justice Agim, one of the justices on the panel, saying that Atiku should prove beyond the reasonable doubt. I mean, that there is a letter from Chicago State University. There are two letters from Chicago State University, one for against Tinubu, the other for Tinubu. That which one should they take? That hurts in a day. That hits hard in a different way. If you are the one doing this, if you have two documents, why don't you demand for the school, write the school as Nigeria Supreme Court? That is a ground for doubt to say, this is what we have as Nigerian Supreme Court. We need you to attend if truth was what you were seeking. And now yesterday, listening to them reel out this, Mr. Akpotive, not once did I hear any of the justices admit that if any of these issues, the raised against Tinubu, is actually anything to go by, then there is a problem for Nigeria. It was discarded, it was not important, it was just dumped somewhere, and verdict was given based on whatever Tinubu and his party wanted. what is the future of Nigeria electorally, democratically, educationally, spiritually, physically? What do you think is the future of this country, if you're to say?
I have continued to insist, even with my previous remarks, that the popular messaging that at the end of the tunnel you would get light has been made completely useless, because it doesn't look like there's light at the end of the tunnel in Nigeria. We keep literally going from frying pan to fire. We keep moving. You know, like the Bible says that the path of the righteous or just will shine brighter and brighter and brighter. I always want to interpose that to say the path of a righteous country shines brighter and brighter. And I'm asking myself, is Nigeria a righteous country? Because we are not seeing any shining. We're not seeing any shining anywhere. We're not seeing light anywhere. And this is not because Andy is a chronic pessimist. No. What we see is what we judge. What we see is poverty on the streets. What we see is despondency. What we see is melancholy. What we see is the people engaging in what ordinarily they should not be engaging in as a result of the failings and the failures of leadership. What we see is a lackluster leadership style that has been fostered on us by a ruling class that has refused to live. So if you ask me the question, what do I think would happen in the nearest future? It's obvious. Unless there is a parting of the Red Sea, there is no crossing to the Uhuru destination.